Hello, and thank you for joining me for this Windfarm Cybersecurity brief. I want to begin by talking about a few cybersecurity risks. First, attackers can access our network and conduct devastating cyber attacks. For example, the recent Target attack cost that company $148 million in one quarter, according to FireEye. These costs come from service outages and legal fees related to compliance with regulations. There, as a first step, I did asset inventory and identify that we have 3 Windows servers running our IT services and turbine controls, and 2 Linux servers running our website and communication channel with the turbine. After initial security analysis, I identified 3 components to focus on. First, many of our machines are missing critical security patches that represent vulnerabilities that attackers may be able to use to facilitate this. Second, there is a wide attack surface on one of our machines because there are a lot of user accounts for employees who don't all require access. This can increase the probability that mistakes will be made, which could introduce security vulnerability. Finally, there's no hard policy about what network traffic is allowed in or out of our network. Specifically, attackers use open ports to gain access to their targets, and I discovered that although many ports are unused, we still have them open. So with these in mind, I apply 3 initial security controls. As a first step, I install all the updates on our machine that took care of known vulnerabilities. Next, I activated the firewalls on the Windows machines and set them to deny all communications other than those that we need. And I plan to do this on the Linux machine. Finally, in order to measure the security of our system, I set up vulnerability scanning to identify ways we can reduce our risk even more. With this in mind, I propose 3 recommendations moving forward. First, I want to deploy an auditing or security server in our environment so that we're able to detect and analyze security threats early, reducing our costs. This is actually a free system that we have access to. Second, as email phishing campaigns are the most common method of initial compromise, I strongly recommend that the company invest in general cybersecurity training to our employees in order to identify and respond to these threats effectively. Finally, as Windfarm is an industrial control system company, we should take note of recent malicious software that can gain access to ICS and cause havoc. Specifically, we should address the security of the connection between the controls and the physical turbine to prevent attackers from gaining access. One example is that we can invest in multi-factor authentication for our account to have access to the HMI system to make it harder to compromise the critical infrastructure. Together, these measures will help greatly in securing our system. Thank you for your time, and I look forward